Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Wrong Ones. We are coming to you at the end of week two of the IPL, an absolutely scintillating week of action. We've seen another super over, a few really close matches, Delhi's first loss, unfortunately, and another questionable chase by Chennai Super Kings and Kabir's favorite cricketer, MS Dhoni. So, as you can see, it's just Kabir and I today to run you through the action, our views, because Noor is busy and can't join us uh, this week, and the other fans that we have usually don't want to share their views about their teams this week because they're a bit questionable for all teams. Anyway, so we're gonna just run through all the matches that have happened this week and tell you what we think are our key takeaways and any talking points that we have for this week in the IPL. So first up, where we left you last time, Kolkata versus Sunrisers.
Um,
What's your
let's
key
begin
takeaway?
with let's begin with what a great comeback from Pat Cummins. After the previous game where he got absolutely smoked, to go at an economy rate of under 5, and to really be the attacking, the all-round exceptional fast bowler that he is. He really showed his talents. Finally, and it's great to see.
Yeah, I think for me, the key takeaway from this game was that KKR's new strategy, actually, this is the first time they implemented their seven bowler strategy, seven bowling option strategies. And even though a few of them were quite unused on the day, it did work. It helped them restrict them to 147, and it gave DK a lot of options in terms of what he wanted to do and who he wanted to bowl when. And if someone was having an off day, he can change that around. So yeah, I think that was what stood out. And the chase, there wasn't really much to talk about in that game. It was quite an easy, straightforward chase, 147. Great partnership by Gill and Morgan, which I think will hold Gill in great stead going forward, because when you get to bat with someone like Morgan, who's a national team captain, who's done these chases so many times, you understand how to play the scenario, what you should do. And I think he played a beautiful innings as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the variety in the bowling it seems very, very good for KKR. And the fact that so many of their bowlers, Narayan, Cummins, Russell, even Nagarkot, can bat, is a great, great plus for them. In their batting, obviously Shubman Gill, was great to see him make some runs. I read that he now is one of the most is the batsman who has the most control after Virat Kohli in the IPL, which is pretty big stat and pretty important thing going forward, not just for KKR but for India, hopefully.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that was the first game. Now on to the second game, and for me, this was the game of the week. It is the IPL in a nutshell, and it added a new word to the dictionary called doing a tewatia, where you start slow and make everyone think you can't do anything, and then you make the comeback of the ages. Yes, it is Rajasthan Royals versus Kings 11 Punjab. What a game that was, Kabir. There are so many talking points in this game, but what was your main talking point?
Oh, Stress, I don't even know where to start. I could go and talk about Tewatia and the whole story, and you know, he got thrashed in bowling. It's just when he started batting, it was awful. But you know what? I'm going to start with Mayank Agarwal, because I thought Mayank Agarwal's innings was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. He outshone his friend and I guess senior statesman, KL Rahul. Um, just smoked the ball to all paths. And the Kings 11 sort of batting lineup looked solid, looked really solid. And I guess that's what it looks like when two guys at the top fire. It leaves the stroke makers who come later to express themselves. And I guess that's the template going forward. And honestly, one innings, big fan.
Yeah, so for me, obviously, Kabir touched upon the KXIP innings. He gave my views, so I'll take the RR innings then. I think there was a lot to talk about. Sanju's innings was beautiful to watch. So when Sanju Samson starts batting that way, you just want to put everything down and watch him bat because he plays so elegantly. And then obviously Tewatia, what a story! He came in. He had the whole commentary team. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. This is the world's most renowned commentators, some famous cricket personalities sitting in the commentary box and absolutely ripping into him, not giving him a chance, questioning the management. Then he comes back, hits 5 6s of one quarter over, and everyone in the commentary box is then saying, "I'm sorry, we got this wrong. We are completely wrong." It was just the most incredible thing. And I think a special shout out has to go to Nicholas Puran for what he did on the boundary in that game. That is for me the best save I have ever seen in it, best bit of
Yeah,
fielding I've ever seen in a T20 game or any game.
unbelievable fielding. Absolutely unbelievable fielding.
And you can clearly
Um,
see why John T. Rhodes uh, is their fielding coach.
yeah, yeah. They've got a little bit of him in them. Um, yeah, I want to shout out to Ankit Rajput as well, my guy. Um, he played, he picked up a wicket, he had the lowest economy rate in the team. Um, love to see that. Absolutely love to see that.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so that was the second game of the week, which was quite interesting. And the entertainment didn't actually stop there. The next game went to a super over. Yup, it's Royal Challengers Bangalore versus Mumbai Indians. No one thought this game was going to go to a super over with 4 overs to go in the game. But yeah, Kabir, what are your thoughts?
Again, my main takeaway, not my main takeaway, one of my big takeaways is the big story that's been, circulating recently. What's happening with Kohli? How come he's not making runs? And why look so out of sorts in this game against Mumbai? You see all the rest of the batsmen in this team were smoking it, and Kohli sort of blocked them up. And actually, I think their projected score went up after he got out.
Yeah.
So, plenty of questions there. I'm sure he'll answer them. He's a class batsman, but it's definitely worrying at the moment.
Yeah, I think the RCB batting was pretty good. Devdutt Padikkal looked incredible, and so did was it AB de Villiers? Yeah, but I think
As
what really
usual.
stood out to
And
me,
Shivam Dubey.
yeah, Shivam Dubey as well. I just wanted and Mumbai's batting effort, I think, is what stood out to me. It was really slow to start with, and then Pollard and Kishan, what innings, what absolute, especially Pollard. Kishan played well, but my God, Pollard was an absolute fire, and he ripped into RCB's best bowler in Yuzvendra Chahal. But I think the other thing that I just wanted to shout out for this game was Washington Sundar. He hadn't been really given much confidence. He hadn't been given much opportunity to show his skills in the first couple of games. But then he came and bowled in the power play, bowled 4 overs of 12. And that's just absolutely incredible in a run chase of 10 and over. And I think that is something that will really hold RCB in good stead because they've got now apart from Yuzvendra Chahal, they've got Washington Sundar bowling well, and if he can bowl well in the power play, he can Kohli can save Sandy for later in the innings.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Um, it was an absolute clinic on bowling the power play as a spinner. And it's a shame that he has been using that role more often this season because that's what he's best at. We also saw Isuru Dana play his first game.
Yeah, I wish we had some of the RCB fans with us on this podcast today.
Yeah, he was supposed to be that prodigal son. He picked up a few wickets. At times he looked good, but overall
He
his
also
figures
nearly
didn't
lost them the
show.
game with his length
Yeah,
bowling.
exactly. So perhaps he isn't all that he was made out to be. I also want to shout out, obviously, Ishan Kishan. Not playing the first few games, being benched for Saurav Tiwari, and coming back and putting together this behemoth of a knock. 99 and 58, his highest IPL score. Just incredible to see. And he looks hungry. He looks like he wants it. And it's just incredible. I love it.
Yep. And the Super Over obviously was very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, man, super over. Again, like, just wild. Like, I can't deal with it if this keeps happening.
Why I have a question though. What do you think of this strategy of not sending the man that has been in form and displayed that he's got the measure of the pitch for the Super Over? Kings 11 did it, they didn't send Mayank. Mumbai did it, they didn't send Kishan. Do you agree with it or do you not agree with it?
Well, the thing with super overs is that it's literally a matter of there's no big you can't it doesn't matter how well you're playing necessarily up till then because it just matters on how you perform on one ball or two balls.
Yeah.
The entire over isn't going to get hit hard, but if you have your best hitters who have let's say who have the highest probability of hitting a boundary in that period of time, so say like a Puran who hits a lot of boundaries in the game. You have your AB de Villiers, obviously. These guys have a really high boundary percentage in their batting. And if you go by that, I think, to be honest, you could look at it both ways, but I can really understand when teams send players based more on their hitting rather than their form. And I don't think that's really a fault.
I don't know. I think for me, if the guy's seeing it so well, he's just hit so 99 runs, you should send him and let him back. I mean, I don't know. It's just my view. Anyway, that was another exciting game. And then we come to the disappointment of the week for me. Delhi Capitals versus Sunrisers Hyderabad. 2 wins from two losses from two. Top of the table versus bottom of the table. This is everything you want it to be. This is how you start 3-3 and get up and running. Make sure you're a strong contender for the playoffs. But instead, Delhi do Delhi things and go and lose to Sunrisers, who are at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, I mean, our boys were just not good enough, were they? They probably shouldn't have let that many runs get hit. Then when it came to our batting, actually, it's not even the bowling. I think the bowling was okay. It's the batting that let us down.
We had 10-15 runs too much. I think it was
definitely. But I think that was also in the field. I think we let a lot go.
Yeah, and we dropped catches also early.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bharat Army analysis. You can go watch it, guys, if you want. Bharat Army Instagram.
Yeah. And I think that playing on that big ground really disadvantaged us because some of our best stroke makers, Shaw, Dhawan, especially the top, even Iyer kind of, they thrive on having slightly smaller boundaries because they aren't the biggest hitters, right? Iyer can hit a long ball, but definitely with Shaw and Dhawan, they're not the biggest hitters. They're more timers at the ball. So I think that was definitely a disadvantage. And also, we never really kicked off. We never really got anywhere with the chase. We were always behind the asking rate, and it never got to a point where we were on top while we were batting. Again, shout out to Kiki Rabada as well for.
He set a record, 10 matches, I think, in a row with 2 wickets at least, which is an IPL record.
That's insane.
But I thought our bowling was decent, but our batting, I think we approached the chase wrong. I think we sort of learned from Mumbai the day before, and even our Rajasthan, not Rajasthan to that extent, but we started really slowly. And I think we didn't pick our bowlers correctly because you could see that Bhuvneshwar was under pressure before coming into that game. And teams that played out Rashid Khan, but we let Bhuvneshwar bowl at us, gave him an early wicket that gave him confidence, and then we didn't have the opportunity to go play. We let Khalil and Natarajan also bowl well in the power play. That meant by the time Rashid Khan came on, we had to try and attack him, and that's when he's at his best. And once he got Iyer early to a shot, I don't think was necessary. I think we just gave him all the confidence in the world to then put a stranglehold, and he got 3 massive wickets in. He basically took arguably our 3 best players in Dhawan, Iyer, and Pant. But for me, I think what was really disappointing as well was the shot selection in a few of the matchups. For example, I don't want to single anyone out, but like I said earlier, the Iyer shot against Rashid early in the innings, and I really want to see Pant finishing games. And I feel like after a few big overs, we had the shots. We had the game where we wanted it. 49 or 4 overs is very doable in today's day and age. And I feel like Pant didn't really need to play that shot at that point. He could have run a ball of Rashid and given himself 40 to chase in 3 overs with him and Stoinis. I'd back Delhi in that scenario. But I don't know.
Definitely. I just thought that for one of those games where we're just kind of short of the mark, they were better than us.
I don't think we were switching on.
We were. Yeah, it just didn't seem like that. And I think it's fine. It happens. It's a long tournament. Plenty of games to go ahead, and I think we'll be fine.
I think so. That is where for me the exciting matches of the week kind of ended, because then we had 3 matches which I don't know if you can call exciting. First up, we had the Kolkata Knight Riders versus Rajasthan Royals, which on paper looked like it had the opportunity to be a great match, but it didn't really turn out that way.
No, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. KKR's batting lineup was dominant again. Shubman Gill
I'd
was
argue
great.
against that. They were in a spot of bother before Morgan actually dug them out of a hole.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in the end, they did end up being quite dominant. And each of the batsmen, okay, Narayan struggled a bit. I think he's struggling at the top this season. Um, again, Dinesh Karthik has really been bereft of runs this season. Is that the right use of the word bereft? I think so. I don't know, but I think in the end, they obviously got into a good place. Jofra Archer bowled well. I mean, again, there's nothing like huge takeaway from this game. I feel like KKR were just a better team.
Yeah, for sure. I think also I was really excited to see the bowling of Kamlesh Nagarkoti and Shivam Mavi because we spoke about this in our KKR preview as well. That we were all excited to see how Nagarkoti did, and it wasn't just his bowling where he got a couple of wickets, but that catch he took where he ran from long on in front of long off and dived and took the catch. That was just like stunning to see a fast bowler putting that kind of effort, even though he's had body problems for so long with like fitness and injuries. So I thought that was quite exciting. That was the main.
Everything though, right? His batting, his bowling, his fielding.
Yeah.
It's been really good.
Nagarkoti was a bright spot of excitement in that game, but otherwise it was quite a dead game. Karan hit a 50, but it was kind of dead and gone by then. And Karan brings me to the idea that what are your views on Ben Stokes coming back?
Oh, I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait to see him play. I think he might be a little bit.
Rumors that with his quarantine, his first game out of quarantine will be Delhi Capitals.
Oh my God. I have no real worry about that because I think at least in the first couple of games, he'll take a little bit of time to get acclimatized. But after that, he's going to be a beast. I mean, what a player, right? There's not enough words in the dictionary to describe Ben Stokes.
I think we're overselling him a little bit, huh? His IPL stats are not that good.
I know his IPL stats might not be that good, but he just is an incredible player. And he's a match winner at the end of the day. And I think that RR really need that stability and the dynamism that he brings to the middle order and the bowling attack.
Yeah, fair enough. So I think that was quite a bit said about KKR versus RR. Quite a boring game otherwise. Anyway, moving on to the next game, which also looked like it was going to head for a close finish. But then there was some weird stuff that happened. So Mumbai versus Kings 11 Punjab. I think I'll start off with this one. I was a bit confused with the captaincy in the first innings because he had them. Kings 11 and KL had Mumbai on the ropes. They were bowling really well. The ball was moving. They had them at what? So at going at run at almost 6.5 and over for 13, 14 overs. And then he bowled Cottrell out when in the 14th over or something. And that meant he had to bowl Nisham and Shami at the back end. And he compounded the problems by not bowling Gautam out earlier, instead saving his over for the last over. And it just made the last 5 overs look really, really shabby and really weak because, Nisham is not a death bowler. He bowls at a very average pace for international cricket. And even Gautam is not like an Ashwin or a great spinner who can, turn the game and bowl at the death. He's just a straight off spinner. And it just played into Pandya and Pollard's hands. And I think that's why they lost the game when they conceded 104 runs in that final 6 overs or something.
Yeah, bowling an off spinner to Hardik Pandya at the death, that's delusional, right?
To be fair, I don't think he planned that. I think he tried to get his best bowlers in, trying to get a wicket, and he just didn't get a wicket. So by the time it ended, he didn't have an option. It was either Maxwell or...
Right. But I don't think that's good. Like, good captaincy. I think in T20s, you have to make sure that you still have your best bowlers bowling the at least the last 3 overs without fail. Definitely a bewildering option to have Gautam bowl at the death, especially against 2 of the best hitters against spin, probably in the world. I think that's another theme that I think we might have to follow through the tournament. Rahul's captaincy, while his batting has been good, I think his captaincy has left a little bit to desire. So we'll see how it goes because he definitely is a good leader as a person, but maybe not tactically.
For sure. I think also in the Mumbai bowling, it just I don't understand how Mumbai's bowling is going this year. They play one good game, then they have one bad game, then they play one good. Like it's very
Yeah.
inconsistent. But Bumrah was good again against Kings 11. And I think what
Hmm.
really stood up and what would make the management happy is the way that the spinners bowled, because they all said that the spinners were their weak links before the tournament, or the comparatively weaker part of their team. And then the fact that they took some really important wickets in Rahul and Karun Nair, I think it really sets them up for success. I mean, if they need any other setups for success for the rest of the tournament. But I think for me, another thing which was really shocking was the way Maxwell batted, because Pooran played really well. But Maxwell is coming off a century 3 innings ago. Surely, I mean, he should be batting better than what he is right now. And he just
Yeah.
so out of sorts. And I don't know if it's his new stance or what is going on, but he just looked really, really out of sorts. And he couldn't get Bumrah away. He couldn't get the spinners away. Nothing.
He looks uncomfortable, doesn't he? I think he just looks a little bit uncomfortable and
I think with the stance he's adopting, if the ball is spinning away, it's kind of tough because he can't go across, and then he has to try and go over the infield. And
yeah.
if you look at the match, he's got 100 in also. He was always hitting the leg spinner to the shorter side of the boundary. So it wasn't like he had to hit a long distance when he got that in the leg side. So I don't know.
Yeah. Again, one of those things we're gonna have to follow. He's obviously a match winner, but I think there is he is struggling at the moment.
Yeah, and
There's
I think
no
in that team actually it's
much
more
around
important
it.
because they've got the option. There's obviously an option of the big man coming in at the top of the order, Chris Gale, or they have the option if they want to play Jordan or Cottrell. I think they have to get Jordan back in because they need that at bowling, and I'd probably let Nishan go for that game, and I play Jordan instead of him, so they'll have a stronger bowling lineup for the death.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I think that's
It still bewilders me how um, Mujibur Rahman is not playing in the
yeah,
USL.
he's going to get a game, I think, sooner rather than later. I think they're going to
Yeah.
when they take out Nisham, it's either I think it's going to be a toss up between Mujib or Chris Jordan. I don't think Nisham will play in the next game because he bowled averagely, he batted badly. So
Yeah.
I don't see him playing the next game. But
He's a good bloke, but unfortunately hasn't played that well.
maybe they should put Mujib in and then they should drop Mujib in for Nisham and then drop maybe like a not a Krishnappa Gautam, yeah, Krishnappa Gautam for Ishan Porel to give them the Indian fast bowler. I'm surprised they haven't played him as yet. He might be a good option to look at.
Yeah. I think there's rumors going around that he might be playing. He might get a game quite soon.
Yeah,
So I'm really looking forward to that. And actually, I'm just hoping that Kartik Tyagi gets a game as well soon. I really want to see him play.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the Indian fast bowling is looking quite average in Rajasthan.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, that brings us to the final game of the week and the most difficult to understand game of the week, which was Chennai versus Hyderabad yesterday. Okay, before we start,
Can I just say, yeah.
that takes time. Let's start with Hyderabad.
Actually, no. Can I just say one thing before we start? Because like
By the way, you
the
got a
reaction,
paid last week for what you said about Dhoni, so you might
I
want to
know.
temper your opinions before you
I'm
say.
absolutely not going to temper my opinions. I'm speaking out for the minority. Uh, I'm standing up for us. The thing is, I don't know what it is with CSK fans, or not even. Maybe it's not even CSK fans. It's just like Dhoni fans. Some way or the other, Dhoni is the hero in this story. Some way or the other. And I don't see how week to week you have this hero who's constantly falling short, and you're still like, oh yeah, he's still got it. Like he's still the best player in the world. He's still this. He's still that. Like it's the evidence is before your eyes. It's as if you're trying to. It's as if you got your evidence in front of your eyes and you're just making stuff up. You're just coming out with stuff from the
I
woodwork.
think
To
I
try and
think you should
justify your thoughts.
struggle to embrace the reality that you live in now. That the person that people have held up as a hero and a god almost for 14, 15 years is now not the player he used to be anymore.
Yeah,
And I mean it's natural. It's not a reflection on Dhoni as a cricketer or anything because it happens to the best players. They decline and by the end of the career they're not what they used to be in their prime, obviously. But I think with Dhoni it's a bit different because his fans are making him still seem like he's the best thing that can
Yeah,
happen.
exactly.
Chennai
And
should.
I think even just thinking about it like logically, it's delusional to think that a guy who hasn't played top level cricket for 18 months or so, 12 to 18 months or so, right, to come back and be the cricketer he once was, to be the best finisher in the game, to be one of the best ODI players ever, right? To have that expectation is, I mean, nonsensical. Like, we all know he's not the player who he used to be, so stop pretending that he is.
Yeah, I mean, I I want to say I want to stand up for them to some extent, but I think it's difficult to stand up for them because, like yesterday, now if we come back to the game, yesterday, it looked you could see he was trying. Like okay, in earlier games you could maybe say he wasn't trying to hit it, he was trying to play for net run rate. But yesterday you could see he was trying, like he wanted to win that game. He was trying to hit the sixes, and he was really like trying to hit it all over the ground. But it just wasn't coming off. And it was a really painful sight because for someone you've seen hit sixes for ease, like for the last 14 years, would take the best bowlers and just deposit them out of the ground with one flick of the wrist. To see him not be able to hit the fifth bowler almost in Abdul Samad and all of these guys for Sunrisers Hyderabad, I think it was hard to watch as a fan of Indian cricket more than a fan of Chennai. Just like
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like absolutely. And I think maybe the solution to this is that he comes in earlier. It's not. We can see that he has definitely has some value to the team. Right? He can still hit the ball somewhat, but he takes time to get in. It's not like he's not the best player he used to be because the player he used to be would come in and hit a six first ball. The guy who's batting now, the guy who's playing now, can't do the same things. So give him more time. Bat him ahead of Kirajat. Bat him at four. Um, he can take responsibility and really, shepherd the team and again be that hero that everyone wants him to be.
yeah,
Um,
I think Chennai have a lot of problems with their batting order. I mean, for me, even that I don't think the problem is as much Dhoni as it is the top order not giving them starts and therefore putting more pressure on Dhoni. Like Watson has been
yeah,
so out of form. He's been so out of nick. He's not doing he's not doing anything. He's losing his wicket
yeah,
early. He's wasting balls. Like yesterday, he made what one of six balls. I mean, that's just no, and you can't
not good
keep
enough.
that. And I understand, yes, last year, he was not performing. You backed him, and then he won you a game at the end, a couple of big games at the end. But that's fine to do when you're winning games and you know you're going to make the playoffs. But right now, they don't look like they're making the playoffs at any stage the way they're playing right now. And surely they're going to
Yeah,
have some tough calls about whether they want to put him in or want to stick with him or not. Because I think, honestly, I mean, we laughed at this when Shiv said it in the preview for Chennai. But the more and more I look at it, I think him pushing Sam Curran to open the batting might actually be a brilliant idea because they just do not have any sort of aggression or ability to hit at the top. They're just batting really slowly. And Sam Curran has every time he's come out to bat, he's looked like he can bat properly. Like yesterday, first ball he smoked it into the second tier of a bouncer. It was just some incredible batting. I don't know. I just feel like they have a lot of questions that they aren't answering at all. But I mean,
yeah,
that's
definitely.
Chennai. That was the negatives. I think we have to also talk about Hyderabad, given that they were 69 for 4 at the 11th over, I think, at the end of the innings, and you've just run out the one of the biggest men in your team, and he who doesn't usually show emotion, and he's still in the middle of the ground and got angry at you. I think that
Yeah,
innings from Priyam Garg was special.
yeah. It was definitely special, and him and Abhishek Sharma, shining lights, coming into the. We're looking at the future of Indian cricket. I remember we discussed that maybe Priyam Garg is not good enough. Like earlier in the week, we were saying, he looks like he hasn't been able to hit the ball off the square and whatnot. But wow, you know, former India 19 captain, um, just took the responsibility to get his team to a respectable score, and did it against pretty much an all international bowling attack.
Yeah, I think
Very, very
it was
impressive.
really good on Abhishek Sharma as well. And I think that really sets Hyderabad up well for the tournament because when we were all coming, we were saying, oh, their 1, 2, 3 is really good, 1, 2, 3, 4. But who comes after that? Who plays? How are you going to finish innings? But I feel like now that they know that they've got a 5, 6, 7 who have played a few innings, they have confidence. And I think that might even free up people like Warner and Bairstow and Pandey to play more aggressively and maybe put up even bigger totals to give their bowling the chance to defend. But I think one big thing we have to talk about is Bhuvneshwar Kumar and his injury, because
Yeah.
once he pulled up, it's a big deal because he's the main focal point of that attack, of the pace bowling attack. And if you don't have him, it's problems.
Yeah, I mean, Siddharth Kaul might have to play. But anyway, besides that, um, it's a real shame to see that happen. Bhuvi is one of
Yeah,
my favorites.
especially
I
because
think he's just a crowd favorite.
He's got
Huh?
muscular injury history.
Exactly. That, and also just to see, firstly, he's a great guy. Everyone, I think, universally loves him across India and even across the world. He's a really great player and really lovely guy. Or so it seems by all the media we see. Um, it's a shame to see him go down like that. Um, I really wish him the best. I really
Yeah,
do.
you could see he was really trying. He didn't want to let his team down. He wanted to do
Yeah.
everything. But I mean,
It seemed that he would have bowled even if it was at like if he had to bowl at like 110
yeah,
kilometers an
I think it
hour.
was like, I was talking to some people. I think it was a really stupid move to make him try that, because you can work if it's a muscular injury. Running like that can worsen your injury big time.
Yeah, but I think the main thing was the launching. Like he couldn't get up. He could
Yeah.
get lateral. He could move forward. He just couldn't get up.
And take the impact when it came back down.
Exactly.
So I think, I mean, yeah, that's a big thing. Let's see how that progresses for them, because it's a big issue. But yeah, that is the review of the week. Now that we have finished with the week review, let's move on to the predictions for the week that's coming up, for the weekend actually that's coming up. And I just want one line predictions, no justification or anything, just who's going to win and who's going to be the man of the match. And for this, we're going to also get Kabir's brother, Dhruv, to be part of the podcast, who is also a massive cricket fan. Unfortunately, he supports the Chennai Super Kings. Our condolences are to him. But we will carry on with the predictions. So let's go. First game, RCB versus Rajasthan. Who's winning? Kabir and then Dhruv.
I'm gonna go RR Sanju Samson.
I'm going RR. Is Ben Stokes back? I think
Not
Ben.
today.
On time, not yet. Then go RR Jofra Archer.
I'm going RCB Virat Kohli.
Big call.
Big call, but it's gonna, surely it's time he comes back into form. It's been too long. He's too good a player. Okay, second game. Delhi Capitals versus KKR at Sharjah.
Delhi Prithvi Shaw.
Delhi Rishabh Pant. He's coming back. He's gonna make some runs eventually.
Delhi Rishabh Pant. I agree with that call. That's my call as well. Delhi Rishabh Pant. This is his track. Sharjah, small boundaries. He can hit sixes. Come on, Rishabh. I back you. If he wins, Kabir is singing the Bharat Army Pant chant on Monday. Okay. Next, then tomorrow, the games tomorrow we've got. I'm not sure which order they're in, but yeah. Okay. The first up we have we've got Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad. Kabir.
That's a tough one. Mumbai Indians. Rohit Sharma.
Dhruv.
I'm gonna say Sunrisers. David Warner.
Dhruv, you're just taking my predictions all the time now, bro. In my head, it was Sunrisers, either David Warner or Rashid Khan, but I'm going to go with David Warner because I think he's due a big innings. He hasn't really scored anything.
Exactly. He's too good at the IPL for.
And finally, for this weekend, we've got Kings 11 Punjab versus Chennai Super Kings at Dubai. Oh, by the way, before that, actually, Mumbai and Sunrisers is at Sharjah. Do you want to change your predictions?
Nope.
Okay, then. Kings 11 Chennai. Who is it?
I mean, it's Kings 11 and it's KL Rahul.
Dhruv?
I want to say Chennai. I really want to say Chennai, but I have a feeling it's going to be Kings 11 Mohan Bagan.
I thought Dhruv was going to go Chennai MS Dhoni.
I'm hoping Chennai, but...
I think it's going to be Kings 11 Punjab, Nicholas Puran. Wow. I feel he's going to have a big innings tomorrow. He looked really good yesterday. And I just like being different from you guys. And you took KL Rahul and Mayank Agarwal. You didn't really leave me with much of an option. So I was like, let's go with Puran. I was going to say Maxwell, but that's a bit far-fetched as yet. He's not looked in any form. So I had to go with Puran. But yeah, that's it. That is the predictions done as well for this weekend. And we're going to come back on Monday and see how many people have got anything right and who's got stuff wrong. I'm pretty sure most of us will be wrong, at least with our man of the match predictions. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Like, share, subscribe, comment. You know the drill by now. And we shall see you on Monday after what should hopefully be a scintillating weekend of IPL cricket with Delhi winning against KKR at Sharjah. I don't care about anything else. See
Yep.
you.
See you guys.